Today we're interviewing Pauline Burke, and we understand that she lived just a short distance from this Georgia Old schoolhouse, and she would walk to school in the morning. Can you tell us about your walk to school, Mrs. Burke?
Walking to school? I just lived about 200 yards down on the farm. No, not there. There was no houses here. It was a 20-acre farm my father had off Jackson Mills Road.
And is there
about 2000.
Is there anything left of your farm?
Yeah, they've got trucks all over the place, and they cart. They're always riding by here with some kind of, I don't know what they have on their trucks.
Did you walk on the road or on a path? Did you walk on the road or on a path?
Usually through the little road. There was a road like this. It went straight to my farm, and then there was another road that met between Jackson Mills and Georgia Road, so it was like a T. But the day that the Zeppelin went over, the Hindenburg.
Oh, yes.
We were coming home from school from a bus already because they had closed this school, and we saw it hover right over here. We were playing out, hanging out with the Kerastans and some other kids that got off the bus, and we were wondering, why is that Zeppelin hovering? And he looked like he was hesitating. He was killing time or something before they got the hangar ready, maybe, or something or other. And then it went off. And next thing I knew, the fire engines were going by here in the ambulances. I was already on the farm.
Oh, my.
And my sister ran home across the woods over here to where the garage is now. And she went on the phone because we had no phone. And she found out that the Hindenburg had blown up.
Wow. Wow, that is amazing. Oh.
Yeah. It's memories that I remember like it was last week.
And what was the year of that? What year was that?
Had to be 37.
1937. Whoa.
37.
Wow.
Between 36 and 37. Because they closed the schools, I think, in 36 here. All the one-room schools.
Okay.
And thank God this is the only one left. The other one burned down over
and
here.
The one other
and
one.
the other one they tore down because it was all offices and stuff.
Which one was that they tore down?
That was Paradise.
Paradise. Okay.
And this was Fort Plains. That one burned.
How many years did you come to this Georgia Road schoolhouse?
How many years?
How many years were you here?
Here?
Yeah.
Well, there was no kindergarten. Did you bring that picture?
I did.
So the teacher, Laura, she says, I came to school, and she says, look at the birdie. And I looked, she said, okay. And I thought, well, where's the birdie? And this is what she took.
Oh, my. Look at
my first day of school.
Oh, you had a skirt on. Oh, nice. Whoa.
That's the kind of teacher I had. She was great.
And what was your teacher's name? What was your teacher's name?
Laura Donovan Barcalow.
Yeah. Okay. How many years did you spend in this building?
Well, there was no kindergarten, so I spent first, second, third, fourth, and fifth grade.
Okay.
5 years.
And then you went to West Freehold?
West Freehold.
Okay. How many children were in this building?
Probably about 26, 28.
26. And which grades were they? 1 through?
1 through 7 only. Only
7.
1 year did she have an 8th grade, and that was only one student, maybe two. It was Eddie Lang. He was in the 8th grade. I guess he was one of her favorites, local person. And so I have to tell you, she had the graduation. I didn't see it, but she took chicken wire strung it all across the front. I don't know if anybody took photos or not, but if they didn't, they ought to be shot.
What was the chicken?
Chicken wire she strung here. The boys did it for her. They went out in the woods, cut laurel branches, bushes. She had them fill all that chicken wire with green branches.
Oh.
Then she went out and sent them out for the flowers of the laurel and made a figure 8.
Oh.
A big figure 8.
Wow.
For the 1 or 2 students that graduated, the only year that there was an 8th grade.
Oh my. Wow. How
And I remember all that, but I didn't see the graduation because it was after hours, I guess.
What did you do at recess?
Oh, we had lots of fun. We didn't have much ground.
Oh, really?
Oh, no.
Wasn't there a lot of area here?
All we
Or
had
the
was
trees?
this here and a little piece here. There was another piece across the road, but that was growed up mostly. But we played Annie over, throw the ball over, and then you run and see who caught it, and you hit them, and they have to come on your team then. Or hopscotch, or tag, or hide and seek. Any of those ground games that we used
Did
to.
anybody ever get in trouble?
Did anybody ever? Oh, sure.
And what did they do when?
Well,
How did they punish?
Parker Bone. Maybe you're familiar with the name. Bone, B-O-H-N.
No.
They lived. Somebody knows them. They lived over on across from Burgerville Road, the other road going the other way. And he was a mischief, but he teased my sister, Catherine, and she couldn't take it, so she was chasing him. They had a shed, the oak tree that you see over there, that great big oak tree right there as I'm pointing.
I see
it. You're looking at it. Right next to it was a shed, and it wasn't a closed front, it was a shed with a roof like this, just tipped down. Well, she chased him up that roof, up in the rafters, because he was teasing her. She never did get him, but I still remember that. I remember
Is
her.
this the shed that you're talking about?
That I don't remember.
Oh, this is a shed. I thought
That my sister's there, 2 sisters and my brother,
Okay.
right in front.
That's
And that's Laura there,
That's a float.
Yeah, I know, but I was.
and
thinking
Howard
about the shed.
Clayton. We used to go
Maybe
pick
it's
potatoes
on
on
the-
his
it's
farm.
on the tree.
Yeah.
You know where the, what do you call that place where Mikey lives?
A Silvermead.
Silvermead.
Oh,
You know
yes,
where Silvermead
yes.
is? Well, that was all Howard Clayton's farm. And he mostly had potatoes planted. But he also had trees, some apple trees and stuff. My father and mother used to go there so that we could have potatoes for the winter. We earned it, they earned it by picking for him.
Right.
So I would play under the orchard and have an apple when I wanted it or whatever, because it was hot out in the sun. I was, 5 or 6 years old, all summer. And that's how we got our potatoes for the winter.
And that's his truck that they use. That's his
We
truck.
have a picture of the.
That's Howard Clayton's truck.
Yeah, and what was that, a float?
What was it?
What was that, a float that they had?
That was before my time.
They won first prize with this float,
Right, 1922.
1922. Yeah. What would happen if there was an emergency? Now you didn't have phones or anything. What did the teacher do?
We had no phone. She had a couple of boys that she could trust. She sent them up the road to somebody, I don't know where, that had a phone. It happened a few times. We had a girl that got an appendicitis attack, and they had to come and get her.
Oh my.
So these 2 boys would run up there and to the house. I have no idea whose house it was.
Mhm.
But she could trust them. They were, well, all the kids were pretty good. They didn't get into mischief, but she took them out in the woodshed if they were bad.
Now, in the winter, they heated the building with this coal furnace.
Yeah.
Who tended to the furnace? Who took care of the furnace?
I have no idea, except that it would stay all night, I guess, with the coal.
Where was the coal kept?
What was it?
Where was the coal kept? Did they have a coal?
The shed that's over there, usually, in there.
Okay.
As far as I can remember, I can't be positive.
Mhm.
And they used to dry their socks.
Yeah. When the children came in the winter, I'm sure they had walked through the snow and their
Yeah,
jackets.
she let us dry our clothes up on
On
this here particular thing. I remember when we played outside and got our gloves wet and socks too, we would hang them up there and dry them.
Uh-huh. And did the children bring their lunches to school, or did they leave?
Some kids brought their lunches, but most of them went home. They used to come to my farm and play with the ducks while the snakes would be sunning themselves on the logs.
Mm. Nice.
Mrs. Burke, did you have a favorite subject, something you really enjoyed studying?
That what?
Did you have a favorite school subject? Like a subject, math or science?
Your
Oh, no.
favorite subject in school, what was it? Reading?
Oh, we had all the subjects.
What was your favorite?
Oh, and the helping teacher used to come, I'd say once a week,
Uh-huh.
or maybe once in a week and a half. And she would check things out and look at our report cards, I guess, see if we were doing good. Miss Gibson.
Gibson.
They called her Miss. I don't know if she was married or not.
Uh-huh.
But she was a very quiet person. And she would talk to the teacher and get information of the students' report.
Who were your friends that you came to school with here?
Who was the friends?
Who were your friends?
Well, mostly it was the neighbors.
Uh-huh.
Guinans, April, Cudahy, Koenig. They called him King at one time. They were Jewish.
Mhm.
But then they changed it to Koenig. Then we had a couple that were new from, what's that development right across from ShopRite? Winfield?
Yeah.
Yeah. Their name was Koenig, but they were German. But that was later in the years.
What were the names of the Koenigs that you went to school with?
What was their names?
What were their first names?
Of the Koenigs?
Yeah.
Well, there was Nathan, was the oldest. I didn't know him. He didn't go to school with me. He became something very prominent in Washington, D.C. later in life. Nathan. Then there was a cousin that was named Nathan Koenig on Georgia Road. Cousin.
Uh-huh.
But this Nathan had a sister, Eva, Yetta, and Alice. Alice was the youngest one. She was younger than me, but the others were one maybe a little bit older and one about my age. But Alice was the younger one. They were very uncared for, I must say.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, my mother got eggs from this Koenig to hatch. She had 2 incubators, oil run by kerosene. She had one that would hold 100 eggs. She had one that would hold 150 eggs. Well, sometimes she would use one, sometimes she would use the other one. Well, she put those eggs in one of the incubators, not one hatched, whole pail full. She took that pail of eggs out of the incubator, walked down to right around the bend here on Jackson Mills Road. And they lived right close to the road, and she dumped them on the front yard. Rotten eggs.
Oh.
No.
Now, you had many grades in this school. Did you work in groups, or did one teach the other? How did the teacher?
She called us up usually one class at a time. There wasn't more than one or two to a class, so that's how we did it.
And the others would do their work.
They would do their work.
And
yeah.
one helped the other?
That I'm not sure.
Uh-huh.
No, I can't answer that. But the helping teacher was very good. And Laura was very good. She had no children. She had several miscarriages. She was out of school sometimes, absent because she had miscarriages. Never could carry a child, so she never had any.
We understand that when you were a student here, there were holes in the ground. What were they from?
Holes in the ground?
Yeah, out back in the woods.
Oh, yes. Laura told us that during the war,
Probably the revolution.
which Jeffrey says wasn't World War I,
Right. Probably revolutionary.
Revolution?
yeah, that's where the soldiers hid to spy on the enemy. There's 2 holes there and they mustn't be filled. I can show them to you.
Oh, wow.
And only about 500 feet from here.
My.
So after school, the teacher had to wait for her father to come pick her up with his Model T.
Now, who was that? Who was that?
Bill Greeley.
Bill Greeley.
Yeah, they called him Bill Greeley. His name was Bill Southern.
Oh.
He chewed tobacco and he spit out the window and it would always drool down the...
Well, so you used to wait here with who?
With Lillian, Laura, the teacher's niece by marriage, Lillian Barcalow. She was married to Harry Barcalow, but she always liked to play with the buckles on the men's belts when they would come. She was very affectionate, Laura was. She taught in the public schools over West Freehold.
Yes,
That's
yes.
why they named one school
Barcalow.
Donovan and one Barcalow.
Yes, that's the...
Because she was a Barcalow and then she was a Donovan.
Ah.
And she took a ride later in years with her husband, Donovan, but she wasn't herself. I don't think she even knew me. They stopped out here and I tried to talk to her,
She didn't know.
but she was out of it.
Yeah.
But he was taking her for a ride,
Oh.
I guess.
Pauline, what year were you born?
Who?
You.
What day?
Year.
What year?
What
was your
year?
What was your birthday?
Well, now that's telling, isn't it?
Oh, Pauline.
August the 6th, 1923.
Wow. Good year, good
Yeah.
date.
It certainly was. My father and mother were pretty proud of me.
1923.
I was the last one of the whole clan.
You were the baby.
Huh?
You were the baby? You were the baby.
I was the baby, yeah.
Pauline, when World War II broke out with Pearl Harbor, do you remember that when Pearl Harbor happened in 1941?
When what?
Pearl Harbor, the beginning of World War II for
Something
America?
is echoing too hard.
Do you remember when World War II broke out, when the attack on Pearl Harbor?
I remember one of the wars that I was standing watching television with one of you kids was small, but now I don't remember which one it was. World War II?
Pearl Harbor.
I can't.
Well, Daddy was in World War II.
Who?
Daddy was in World War II.
Your daddy was in World War II. Okay, we weren't married yet.
Right.
Yeah, he was overseas. Yeah, he was in. I have pictures of him.
How recently?
Sometimes his buddies would take a picture when they'd be out.
When
So you don't have a recollection of what went on around here when the day of Pearl Harbor?
It's been a while.
Offhand,
No?
I'd have to stop and think for a while.
the news media was a lot different back then
Yes,
than it is
yes.
now.
She'd be in high school. She was 18 then. She
Yeah,
out of high
yeah.
school.
I kept busy. I worked.
Where did you
31
work?
years driving a school bus. That was the last.
So you were a Freehold Township school bus driver?
Freehold Township.
For Freehold Regional.
Freehold Regional.
Freehold Regional.
Freehold Regional. Okay. 31 years, and before that, I was working at Burgerville with Mrs. Berger. During the summer, I would clean all the cottages before summer, because during the winter, the squirrels would come in and get acorns all underneath the furniture and the stoves and all. And it would be a mess. So I'd clean all. She had about, I'd say 75 cottages over on Burgerville Road at one time.
Oh, my.
Where did you work after you got out of school?
What did I do after I got out of school?
Yeah.
I have to stop and think. Oh, yeah, I worked for 8 years in the Billy Coat Factory.
Where was-
There was only 3 coat factories in Freehold plus the rug mill.
Where were the coat factories?
One was on Stoke Street, one was on Throckmorton Street, and one was off of Stoke Street, down toward the railroad track. We used to flirt with the railroad guys, because that was where the end of the railroad would come, and they'd come there to change freights or something. And we had an old rag curtain, a big white curtain to keep the sun from shining, because I was right next to the window. So we'd flirt with them.
Why not, right?
Amazing, amazing.
Do you remember Mickey Seaman?
Mickey Seaman? Yeah. Mickey and Bobby? Yeah. And Gertie? Gertie went to school with my sisters and my brother here. And then Mickey and Bobby went with me. Mickey, he was a rascal. He's the one who would rock the seats on the track. There would be like 4
they were
on a track.
Okay. Oh.
And he was a big guy, so he could do it. And I'd be sitting in one of the seats in the back, and I'd start hollering at him.
Where did you go when you left this school? To the Borough High School?
West Freehold.
West Freehold. That was the school. Okay.
That was the first school, yeah.
Okay.
I guess imagine that was a middle
To the
school.
next
What grade was West Freehold then?
Eighth.
When you left here, what grade did you go to?
I went to 6th grade.
6th grade. Okay. Uh-huh.
That's the teachers at West Freehold School and the principal.
Okay. And then after West Freehold, you went to the Borough High School?
Yeah.
So,
That's all the teachers that moved over there from the one-room schools.
Mr. Riley.
Yeah, we have.
They were all one-room school teachers.
Oh. Oh my. There were that many. 9. So there were 7 one-room school teachers.
Must have been, yeah, because there's one in Siloam, one in Smithburg,
Good one.
one up the road over here, and the one on the corner by Berkey's,
The
and
Paradise.
I don't know where else.
Wow.
Oh, East Freehold,
Right.
there was one.
Are one of these,
That was, each one had one school.
So there
This
were
was each
7.
teacher had one school. And that's Laura.
which one's Laura? Oh, this one here? Do you know the rest of these?
Parker, yeah. I knew them all.
Oh, did you? Who's the guy on top?
That's Mr. Raleigh.
Okay. Was he the principal?
Mr. Alley, Mr. Frick, Miss Conover, Mrs. White, she was a principal. Miss Holtern, Miss Mount, Miss McCarthy, I forget who this one. But Laura was so loving. She had no children of her own, had, like I said, several miscarriages. So she was always loving all the children, always very loving.
So you have a lot of happy memories from your school
Very.
days.
Yeah.
When they did when they had the 8th grade graduation,
They had one 8th grade graduation.
what did they do?
Only one.
What did they do to the wall?
I told her.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the
Chicken
ferns.
wire and the
Yeah.
bone. I'll play it back.
In the summer, did you work on the farm, your family's farm, in the summer? When school was out? When school was not in session? You know, in the summer?
What did you do in the summertime?
In the summertime, played on the pond. My father made a raft. Teased the snakes. Picked strawberries, picked grapes. My father sent me out with Johnny Harris. He was a relative of my brother's wife years ago. Sent us out to the grape vineyard. My father had, maybe a 5-acre grape vineyard. He used to make wine and everything. And he sent us out with clippers to trim the vines. They had 2 wires running across and posts every so far. And you had to trim them so they wouldn't be too full. Well, we went up there, and I was starting to trim, and Johnny Harris says, "Oh, look over here, look over there, look at the sun." Well, I went over there to look, and he was going to make love to me. I threw my flyers down, ran off, and I never did get back to trim the grapevines. That was the end of the grapevines.
Did any of the children have to leave during harvest time to go help on the farm?
During harvest, did any of the kids have to leave school early to go pick potatoes or anything?
I don't know. I couldn't remember. I do know they might have kept them home to help, but not to go home early. I don't think. I really can't answer that. But like I said, most of the kids, all the way up to Cudahy's, they had to walk, or the parents brought them, all the way up to what's that road that goes off?
Philadelphia?
Namoka Road.
Namoka Road. They would come from over there and walk. Then there was 3 houses here that they had kids, and down Dean's. And Dean's, Keeper's Dam is over there. There was 2 homes. Nowers lived in one many years after that, and Dean's lived in the first house, it was Lane.
Keeper's Dam?
Huh?
Keeper's Dam?
Keepers.
Oh, Keepers, okay.
Yeah. The brook that goes down
Yeah.
crosses Jackson Mills Road, and you walk on up. There's Keeper's Dam. I intend to go there, but the chiggers were out over the summer,
Yeah.
and they drive you crazy.
Yes, yes.
I got them one time. I was up 2 nights straight from my neck down, itching like crazy. I thought I was going out of my cot in my This summer. So I swore I wasn't going to go out in no woods.
Were there
till
any?
the first frost?
Then you can go.
Then they're gone.
Did you have bus drivers while you went to this school? Were there bus drivers that brought anyone to school? No?
Yeah.
No, nobody brought kids here?
Everybody walked, or the
They
parents
walked.
had to bring them.
And where?
Because there was 3 one-room schools right here,
Okay. And
4 Plains and Paradise.
so George Burke's bus service, what did he do?
George Burke,
Yeah, the bus service, when he had a bus,
West Freehold,
he brought kids to West Freehold.
after West Freehold opened.
Okay.
Now,
That's when he got a job with the school bus.
What,
the bell that we have in the corner here, I understand was on the roof of this school? See
You're
bell?
talking about what? The
school
bell?
Yeah.
That I couldn't tell you.
Oh, so you don't recall it being on the roof and them ringing
I
it?
don't know. The church borrowed it, and they're building a new church. So apparently they gave the bell back.
no, that's not the one.
That's not the one.
No, they still have the bell over there.
Oh, all right.
They-
You heard it, that.
They took that in the 70s.
When the school closed, they were nice enough to give them the bell to use in their church.
Oh.
And that's the end of it.
This bell.
No, the bell is still in the church. That bell's from somewhere else.
Oh.
The original bell to the schoolhouse is in the first assembly that got it across the street.
Oh, okay. Does anyone else?
So who was your bus driver when you went to West Freehold School?
Who do you
Funny
think?
story.
Your daddy.
Who?
Your daddy?
Oh.
No, Bill Hankins. Because daddy was still working on the road.
Okay, but then after Bill.
Daddy was he was working with the highways, tarring roads around down the shore.
Okay.
And they still had some work to finish up for the summer because they couldn't do it after the bad weather. So he couldn't drive right away, but on the bus it said George R. Burke, and I thought, oh, that's George R. Burke, but actually it was Bill Hankins. He was a gray-haired man, a brother-in-law to my sister-in-law. Nice guy too.
Well,
But it
thank
wasn't
you,
George R. Burke.
Pauline, for giving us your recollections of your early school days. It's been very interesting.
Okay, I'm glad
Thank
you
you.
enjoyed it.
Yes.
Very much so.
It was a pleasure talking about it.
Yeah.
I haven't forgotten anything
We
yet.
learned a lot.
So far, so good.
Amazing.
Excellent.
Pleasure hearing it.
Thank you.